Hello everybody and welcome to this Verbling class with me. My name is Teacher Amy and today's class is one of my favourites because it's part of my series called Around the World in 80 Days, and today we're going to be travelling virtually to Japan and looking at Japanese tattoo artists. So it's kind of an unusual topic, I guess. If you're a tattoo fan or maybe you hate tattoos, this could be an interesting class to come to. We're going to read about Japan and some of the tattoo artwork that goes on there with some of the most famous tattoo artists, and we're going to practice our reading and improve our pronunciation and hopefully learn some new vocabulary. So it's a reading class mostly today with some speaking as well. Our topic is Japan and tattoos, and if you have booked a slot, and now is the time to come in. So while we're waiting for everybody, if you've never been to Verbling before, or if you are new with us, then there's a couple of pages that I'm now posting into the chat boxes so that you can check out some of the extra stuff that goes on with Verbling outside of classes and tutoring sessions. The first link that I'm going to paste is to my Verbling Teacher Facebook page. And if you like Facebook, this is probably a good way to keep in touch with us Verbling teachers and see what's going on. If you are not much of a Facebook fan but you want to find out more information, then why don't you try looking at one of the Verbling teacher pages. So we all have one of these. If you click on the link that I've just shared there, you'll go to mine and you'll find lots of interesting information and useful stuff, including a little bit more information about your teachers, who we are. You can watch our welcome videos. You can see some other excerpts from classes as well. You can look at our timetable and you can get in touch with us if you have questions. So do click on those links if you would like to. The website is verbling.com if you're watching this from YouTube. Okay, so let's say hello, sorry, to who we've got today. We've got
Hello.
lots
Hello.
of students. Hello.
Hi.
We'll go through one by one just to see how everybody's doing. So I'm going to start off with Ksenia this morning. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine and thank you.
Good. How's your week going?
A lot of work,
Lots of
so
work?
it's fine.
Yeah?
Yes.
And has it cooled down a bit yet, or is it still boiling?
Now we have an autumn.
You have
Nowadays,
autumn already!
it's
Ksenia, it's
heavy.
July.
It's Russia. It's from about we have in night about only 5+.
Oh, wow! So it's really cold at night already.
Yes, yes, and heavy rains.
So you're already suiting up in your warmer clothes.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ksenia. It sounds like Russian weather is a bit extreme. So, yeah, you've had your summer. That was over in about 3 days by the sounds of things.
I hope. Actually, we tomorrow have about, I don't know, 35 again. So it's
Okay.
crazy. Yes.
It is. The weather's gone crazy. All right. Well, I'm glad at least you've got some warmth to look forward to because I know how cold your winters are. But welcome to the class anyway.
Okay.
Mariam, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Have we met before?
No, this is the first time.
All right. Well,
joined.
hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Where are you from, Mariam?
I'm from US.
Mhm.
I live in US,
Yeah.
so I'm a PhD candidate. So
Wonderful. That's great. What's your native language?
I'm Persian. I'm originally from Iran.
Okay, awesome. Well, very nice to meet you and welcome. And how long have you been living in the US?
Over 5 years.
5 years. And how's it
Yeah.
going? Do you like it?
Yeah, this is fine. Yeah,
Good.
doing research and academic life
Yep.
sounds
Sounds
great.
All right, wonderful. Well, if you're doing something you're interested in, it doesn't matter so much where you are. But I'm glad that you're having a good experience. And nice to meet you and welcome.
Thank you, Amy. Nice to meet you too.
All right. Who else do we have? Natalia with the beautiful yellow flowers. Hello.
Nice to see you again. How
Nice
are
to see
you?
you again. I'm great, thank you, Natalia. How's the summer going for you?
Well, so everything's okay, but as Ksenia says, it's almost autumn in Russia, but it's true that we are waiting for warmer days. So paradoxically, July is supposed to be the hottest month of the summer, but for the several few years, it turns out to be one of the coldest months in summer. So June is boiling, but July is cold.
How strange. Well, it seems like the season's almost moving, Natalia.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Yeah. It's been crazy weather here actually in New Zealand where I am, and it's cold today, but it's taken a long time to get this cold. Usually it's a lot colder a lot sooner, so I don't know what's happening. All right, well, welcome to the class, and it's lovely to see you.
Thank you.
And Natasha, how are you today?
Hello, Amy. I'm pretty good, thank you.
Excellent. Any news? Any exciting news?
No, it's. I think that it's good. We're having something news. It was a peaceful week for me. I was very busy, and I'm going to be busy the next week too.
All right, so you've got lots on, lots on.
Lots on, yeah.
All right, well, I'm glad you've managed to find time to attend a couple of Verbling classes, even though you've got lots on, Natasha.
Okay, thank
Well
you.
done. All right, Martin, how are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Good.
We've had very hot weather, 3 or 4 days of hot weather, and now it's going to be cold and windy again. So summer was last week, I would say, but we hope to get some nice weather at the end of this week. We shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds as if you're getting some weather blown in from Russia, Martin.
Oh, I think it came from Spain, actually.
The hot weather from Spain.
All Western Europe has been very hot indeed last week.
Yeah.
In London, I heard they had temperatures of 39 degrees.
Yeah, which is unheard of
32.
for London, really. Absolutely. Well, it's blowing hot and cold all over the place. Crazy, crazy weather. Welcome to the class anyway, Martin.
Thank you.
Philip, how are you today?
I'm fine, teacher.
Great. Any news? Any updates?
It's status quo.
Everything normal?
Normal. Oh, it's normal. Nothing
Status quo. So you're just carrying on with everything as normal. How's your English going? Are you improving, do you think?
I think so.
Good.
So.
That's excellent. Sometimes it's not easy to measure your progress in learning a language, is it? I find it's been difficult. And sometimes you feel like you're making loads of progress and then you go through stages where you think you're just treading water for a bit. But I think that's just the nature of learning a language. So I'm sure that you are moving forward in some way. So keep going, Philip.
Thank you, teacher.
Raphael, hello.
Hello, Andy.
How are you today?
I'm okay. Thanks for asking. And you?
I'm great, thank you. And it just reminded me that me and Raphael agreed that I would ask him some kind of a random question a long time ago, right at the beginning of class.
Okay,
I've just remembered. What shall I ask you? Oh, I'll ask you this question. Do you have any tattoos?
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
I haven't. I'm trying to make some tattoos, but I don't know. I'm still trying to. I'm just thoughts, just plans, nothing particular yet.
So you do want to get one, but you haven't got one yet.
Exactly. Because I'm under a little bit of pressure here at my home. You know, my mom doesn't like tattoos, and my grandmother. So I had to deal with them at first before trying to do something like this.
Fair enough. You've got to work through the family, persuade them all before you can get one.
Yeah.
All right. Nice to see you, Raphael. Salvatore, hello.
Hello, Amy. Nice to
Nice
see you
to see
again.
you. Jinx. How's everything going? Haven't seen you for a long time.
Yes, teacher. It is everything okay?
Yeah.
And these days there is a lot of hot in Italy. It's hard to sleep at night, teacher.
Yes, well there you go. That's a great reason to come onto Verbling because you can't sleep, you know, Salvatore. So, oh, what should I do? Learn English. Well done. You've made such a good choice.
That's
It must be just as hot, I guess, as it has been in the other parts of Europe. So you're suffering a little bit, Salvatore.
yes.
All right, well, it's great to see you. I'm grateful for the heat if it's managed to make you come onto Verbling. So hi and welcome.
Thank you, teacher.
All right, and last but certainly not least is Silvestro. Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Silvestro. Have we met before?
No, it's the first time in
Wonderful.
Verbling, and this is the second lesson today.
All right. Well, welcome. A huge welcome to you. How are you finding everything? Do you have any questions? Are you managing okay?
No. It's really easy to use this platform.
Great. That's good to hear.
I've learned in a few minutes.
Brilliant. All right. Well, if you do find anything a bit confusing, please let us know.
Okay, thank you.
Where are you from, Silvestro?
I'm from Italy, Milan, and as Salvatore said, it's really hot. In Milan, there is roughly 40 grades Celsius.
40 degrees.
Degree, yeah, and 80 degree of humidity. It's really, really hot.
Wow, 80% humidity.
Really hot, in particular in the night.
My gosh, so no wonder you can't sleep either.
Sorry?
You can't sleep either.
Okay, exactly. I don't sleep. But in some way we have to rest.
Excellent, that's really true. Do you have any like air conditioning or a fan or anything in your house?
No, I can't use it because I have some difficulty with the air conditioning. In the past I used, but I have had some problem.
Oh,
so
no.
I have to take all this hot and hope that it'll pass soon.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, it's not a great time for your air conditioning to break down. Oh, very bad. You'll have to see if you can get it fixed, Silvestro, so that you don't, you know, explode or melt.
Okay.
Well, we hope you don't during this class anyway. We're going to change the subject and try and take your minds off the ridiculously hot weather, everybody. So there's the link to our article today, and we're going to read about tattoos, as I mentioned before. So first of all, has anyone been to Japan who is in this class?
I haven't been.
Nobody's been. All right, so nobody knows what Japan is like. Well, we're going to learn a bit about it. And Raphael has mentioned that he would like to get a tattoo, but he doesn't yet have one. Does anyone else here have a tattoo?
No, but it's very popular in United States. It's a part of the culture to have a tattoos. So everybody interested in having a tattoos.
Is that right, Marianne? Have you noticed that as something as you've been living there?
Yes, it's a part of culture. So Americans are really interested in having a bunch of different sort of the tattoos everywhere in their bodies. So
so they're tattoo addicts, Marianne.
Yeah, it's a kind of addiction to the kind of tattoos.
All right, interesting. Yeah. So Marianne thinks that US has tattoos. Maybe they're quite visible around the place. Anyone else have anything to mention about their particular country? Are tattoos popular in your country, or not really?
I was at the beach a few times last week. The weather was very nice there, and I noticed quite a few people with tattoos. So it is not, I think, the same extent as in US, but quite a few people has got tattoos, and I despise them. I think it's awful. I must admit.
I love Martin. I despise them. I'm not a big fan myself, I must say, Martin. But we're sort of reading about them in a slightly different way today because we're going to be talking about the ancient tattoo tradition in Japan. So it may be some sort of slightly different way of looking at tattoos that you haven't seen before, and hopefully it will be interesting. You can see the picture of this lady here. I'm not sure if it's one or two ladies. I think it's one. And you can see that her tattoo almost looks like a dress from the back, which is kind of interesting. All right, so if you've never been to one of my reading classes before, I'll just run through quickly how it works. I'll ask you to read a short piece, probably a paragraph, because this article has paragraphs that go with these beautiful pictures. And once we've read the paragraph, we'll just check that everybody's understanding. If you have questions about vocabulary, you can ask. I'll correct any mistakes or maybe make some suggestions on how you can improve your pronunciation. And then we may talk about what we've read and continue. So, Ksenia, you are up first. Could you please read the title for us and this little caption?
The master of Japan's ancient tattoo tradition, tattoo master Hiroshi III has spent his life using irezumi to keep alive Japan's cryptic culture of dragons, street knights, and samurai.
Great. All right. This word here is pronounced cryptic.
Cryptic.
Yes. Thank you, Ksenia. Does anyone have any questions about the words? We're going to find out about the Japanese words as we read, but any questions about the English words? No? I think we all probably know what samurai is.
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's scroll down, and we're going to look at the first picture here. So this is a better picture of the lady who's got that almost dress-like tattoo on her back. Ksenia, could you continue for us, please, and read a taboo art form?
While tattooing has been elevated to an art form in many Western cultures, even featuring in exhibitions at some of the world's biggest museums and galleries, irezumi tattoo is looked down upon in Japan, with many Japanese perceiving it as a site of intimidation or a connection to the underworld. In fact, the mayor of Osaka, Toru Hashimoto, has been battling to ban tattoos from his city since 2012. Credit Roxana Hassanali.
Thank you, Ksenia. That was beautifully read. All right, so I just want to ask now, what do you think about the idea of tattoos in your country? Do you think it's a taboo art form? Because it's definitely something that's a little bit controversial, I think. Would anyone like just to mention their particular country and how tattoos are perceived?
I can say about Russia.
Thank you.
This culture of tattoo is coming from prison, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So in our country, nation, not ancient, many years ago, only prisoners had tattoo. But nowadays, it's a broad area of people who want to take tattoo.
All right, who want to get a tattoo, Ksenia?
Get
yeah.
A tattoo, yes.
Okay, very interesting. Anyone else want to comment?
Well, I'm wondering about the idea beyond that tattoos, because as I say in this paragraph, it's a sign of intimidation or connection to somewhere else. You know, I'm wondering is there should be some kind of the idea beyond this, you know, kind of tattooing or skiing or those features, you know.
Mm-hmm.
on their skin. I don't know. I'm a little bit, just amused with that part of an idea. What's make it like attractive to the people? I don't
Yeah,
know.
very interesting, Mariam. Personally, do you think that tattoos are attractive as a whole, or are there some that are attractive and some that you don't think are attractive? What's your personal opinion?
Well, my opinion is like before it was like just certain group of the folk typically use it as a mm, Natalia say about the Russia is for prisoners or certain group of the folks or prisoner or those things, but right now it's turned as a part of the culture, so it's kind of the modernism life that make it necessary for youth especially to do it and follow. And I think this is kind of people blindly look at each other and then follow up without put a question mark on why I'm doing this. The rational beyond that activity.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Well, I don't actually have any tattoos, so it's interesting to me as well. As to why people get them. I think they're for different reasons, depending on who you are, and some people seem to get them because of certain experiences. Maybe they just like the look of them. Raphael, what's your reason behind wanting one, if you don't mind us asking?
Honestly, I've never thought about it before. It's something I always wanted to get. I saw on TV, and some of my friends also have. So, and I wasn't well clarified about that, about how can I get this. And of course, nowadays we have lots of techniques which, if you don't like the tattoo, you can remove it afterwards. Of course, they are not only. I don't think they are 100% effective, but I believe that they are enough to, if I regret in the future, I can remove it, or at least put something over to cover. I don't know. It's something I really put in my thoughts on it to get a tattoo.
All right, very interesting. Thank you, everybody. Let's move on to the next one. So here we have a man who has got tattoos covering a lot of his body, and we'll read a symbolic history. Mariam, could you take that one, please?
Yes. Well, traditional Japanese irezumi differ from other type of tattooing, as it's usually done as a full body suit or as an arm or leg sleeve, cut off at the neck, wrist, and ankles in order to hide the artwork under clothes. The tattoos are also full of symbolic meaning dating to before the Edo period. Tattoos were used as a means of prison punishment. In the 18th century, they became popular in Japanese Red Line district and began to incorporate figures from historical texts. These tattoos were created by carvers who made the wooden molds used to produce Japanese thought-after prints depicting stories inspired by philosophical and spiritual legend found in kabuki theater and ancient texts such as the Chronicles of Japan, the second oldest book of classical Japanese history that dates from 720 AD. Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Very well read. I just want to point out that when we have this word here with apostrophe S, we pronounce it Japans, not Japanese. Japanese is this one, the adjective. So it's different because obviously this one's relating to something belonging to Japan, and this one's relating to something from Japan, we should say. But apart from that, really lovely. Thank you, Marianne.
You're welcome.
So this is interesting. We found out a little bit more about them. Does anyone have any questions about vocabulary?
No.
Right? Everyone
No.
following? Brilliant. Okay,
Yes.
let's scroll down. Now it's Natalia's turn, please.
Okay. The Yakuza connection. Showing your tattoos in Japan is an assault on the viewer, said traditional Irazumi artist Alex Horikitsune Reinke. You can't show them in onsen, public baths, for instance. People would feel threatened or disrespected because traditional Japanese tattoos were worn exclusively by the Yakuza, Japanese mafia, for a long time. Pictured here, members from the Takashi-gumi Yakuza celebrate during the second day of Tokyo Sanya Festival.
Thank you, Natalia. Perfect reading. All right, does anyone have any questions? No? Yes?
I have a question regarding these words of the onsen or public baths.
Yep.
Is there any like synonyms or something? Onsen or
Onsen is the Japanese word, Marianne. So that's why it explains it for us, because it's using some particular Japanese terminology, like Irazumi, which we found out. Yeah. So it just means like public baths. Do you understand what public baths are?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Brilliant. Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to ask Salvatore, can you just explain what we've learned in this paragraph about why do people feel threatened by seeing these tattoos?
Sorry, teacher, can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, sure. Why do people in Japan, like normal Japanese people, why might they feel threatened when they see somebody with these types of tattoos?
Okay, because maybe they attracted because this kind of tattoo represent an historical period in Japan, and I understood that, but this tattoo it's not a good idea to show in public because it can be an assault for the people.
Yes.
I wanted to say that in Europe, in my opinion, many people want to show the tattoo when they are in a public place.
Okay, and why do you think that is, Salvatore?
Sorry?
You mentioned how it's different in Europe. Why do you think it's different? Do you think it's because of the history being different or the culture being different?
Maybe the culture.
Okay. So it's much more acceptable for people to show their tattoos in Italy, you feel, than it is from what you've read about Japan.
Oh, sorry, Amy, I can't hear your voice. Can you repeat? Sorry.
Yes, sorry. I just said that you feel, after reading a short part of this article, you feel like Italy is more accepting of tattoos than Japan in public, you would say?
Yes, I want to say this. I think that in Italy, the Italian people, for Italian people, is not a problem to show their tattoo, and this is not offense for the people.
All right, cool, thank you. So this guy's obviously having some done. He's got a nice stripe all the way up his tummy. And we're going to read a little bit more. And it's Natasha's turn.
Okay, a life's work. Tattoo master Horiyoshi III has spent his life using a resume to keep alive traditional Japanese culture, a cryptic history of dragons, street knights, I don't know, knights, and samurai. Everything you draw has to come from the history text. Horiyoshi III said when I visited him at his studio in Yokohama City, about 30 kilometers south of Tokyo. He waved at the books that lined his studio's walls. This kind of tattoo is part of a superhistory culture. It's a special sort of historical Japanese art. Today, Japanese culture is broken. People want tattoos to look dangerous or cool, but it's meaningless. Keeping Japanese history alive is why I continue.
Thank you. Beautifully read. Just one word. This one here is lined.
Lined.
Yes. Does anyone have any questions?
I'm wondering if you kindly please the cryptic history of dragons.
Yes.
What that means, cryptic?
Good question. What does cryptic mean?
Mystery.
Yeah, it does. It literally means sort of like mysterious. Thank you, Ksenia. Something that's not easy to work out. Something that's hidden or mysterious. Yep.
Could be a symbolic history of the dragons.
Absolutely. Symbolic, yep. Something that's not immediately apparent, Marianne. Okay? You have to sort of think about it to work out the meaning. You can get cryptic crosswords that are, you know, printed in our newspapers, and they're the most difficult kinds of crosswords because you have to read the clue, but you have to sort of look deeper into the clue. You can't just immediately see the word by reading the clue. So, yeah, it's interesting. How does this sort of attitude towards the tattoos differ? Do you think in your countries we're sort of you know, more towards people wanting tattoos because they want to look dangerous or cool? Or do you think that your country has a particular tattoo tradition like Japan? Is there anyone who wants to comment?
Well, I think majority of the current you know, trend of the tattoos is, you know, comes from Western culture. I'm talking about Asia. So I'm not heard about the other it's the first time I heard that they put a kind of cover their body with the symbolic stories. However, symbolic signs are popular even in the US. They you know, cover their body with some terms or some things like that. But I never heard like they cover the whole body with the symbolic story. So I'm not sure I've seen any of those kind of the things like covering the whole body with the, you know, a story. But it's popular, like small parts, and I think it's like is not kind of tradition. It's kind of trend, that fashion that, you know, became popular. One is vanishing, the other ones that appear. So it's kind of the come and go. I don't know.
Okay, thanks, Marianne. Yeah, it's unusual because I think you're right. Before I read this article, I wasn't aware that you know, this particular way of covering your half your body or sleeves or whatever. Usually people just have like one picture, at least in my experience. But I just want to ask quickly about indigenous populations. Do any of you come from countries where you live with indigenous populations? And if so, do these indigenous populations have a tattoo tradition?
So, for example, yeah, I come from the region where there is indigenous population. So the region is called Udmurtia. So actually, I am Udmurt myself. I'm not Russian, but in our tradition, we don't have any trait of tattooing. And I don't think that in Russia any indigenous population has a tradition of tattooing.
Okay, thank you for sharing that, Natalia. I just brought that up because I live currently in New Zealand, and I don't know if you know about the Maori, who are the indigenous people of New Zealand, and they do have quite a strong tattoo tradition, which is quite striking because they're tattooing. They do tattoos on their body, but a lot of it's done on their face, which is quite unusual, and especially their chin and lips, and sometimes more. But it has a lot to do with their tribe, and it's very, very meaningful. It's not just random. So in this way, the Maori are quite similar. If you're interested, I'll send you a little thing that you can look up after class. Just remind me. Okay, so off we go to the next piece, and it must be, I think, Martin's turn.
I'll just mention I've tried on the group chat, try to Google Frederik tattooing, and you can see a picture of the former Danish king with all his tattoos. He was sort of a sailor when he was young, very much going around the world with the Navy, with the Danish Navy, and he's got several tattoos.
How interesting.
It's quite funny to see. You could just Google Frederik, and then the Danish word for tattoos is tattooing, and then you will, the first link or so will be this one, Frederik the Ninth, I think.
Let me have a look at this. We can quickly have a look here.
Yes, this is picture number 3.
This one here?
The second one now, the second one.
Yeah.
That's the former Danish king.
So he has some dragons and things on him, by the looks of things.
And anchors and whatever, yes.
He's very Danish. It's a very Danish choice. Anchors and dragons. It's exactly what I'd imagine, actually. Thank you for sharing that. I'll just, while we're on Google, show you what I mean about the Maori. So you can see here that they have very, very specific patterns, and this is what the facial tattooing that I was mentioned before. So all of this tattooing is usually on the men, but I will show you the women do tattooing as well. It's not just for men. Here you can see a picture of, this is a really typical way of being tattooed. Your lips are tattooed, and then you have a certain particular pattern on your chin which represents your tribe. So that's something that might interest you. All right, so back to this. Martin, could you read for us?
Yes. A secret worth the pain. I looked down at the colorful ink swirls that covered his client's whole body. Yasuyuki Kawashima, pictured, has been coming to Horiyoshi 3rd for 6 years. My tattoo gives me strength. It's my secret, just mine, he said, after spending an hour with his hands rolled into fists to prevent passing out from the pain. Credit Rukusana Hosenali.
Thank you, Martin. Beautifully read. Yes, I must admit that even if I was a massive fan of tattoos, the pain would definitely put me off because I'm a complete and utter wimp. But I think that having something like this done must be excruciatingly painful. I personally don't think it's worth it, but obviously he does. All right, Philip, a master is born.
Teacher?
Could you read for us, please, Philip?
Okay. A master is born. I was 12 when I got my first tattoo. Oryoshi Tree said, looking up from his client's thigh. It was of a Buddhist cross on my arm. He looked back down at the black outline that I sprouted from his gibbering needle. At 15, Oryoshi's group of friends who tattoo each other. At 21, he met his master's Oryoshi. I and Oryoshi too at a tattoo convention. They trained him. gave him his body suit, and crowned him with the privilege of continuing their legacy with their name. Today, there are fewer than 100 traditional Irezumi masters left in Japan.
Great, thank you, Philip. Lovely reading. I just want to clear up the issue with this number. This has obviously just been explained to us, so I'll bring it up now. That this guy is the third in the line of these Horiyoshi people. So we would pronounce this Horiyoshi the third, generally, as if he was like a king or something. And this is Horiyoshi the first and Horiyoshi the second. So that's how we generally pronounce that.
Okay.
Thank you, Philip. Does anyone have any questions about anything in there?
So, sorry, what does mean sprouted?
Sprouted. Good question. Does anyone know what sprouted means?
I think it's the liquid that comes up from the needle.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so to sprout is usually a verb that we use with plants when they first come up from the ground, when they first, you see that little green, tiny leaf kind of sprouty thing. That's what we call to sprout. But he's used it in this way because it's almost like the tattoo is like growing over his body, so it's an interesting one to use. I think that's probably why he chose it. Anyone else? No? All right, we've got a really good look at this guy's back now, and you can see the detail of the tattoo, and it's very colourful and really kind of decorative and detailed. So it must take a long time to do. It must be extremely painful, but it does look pretty cool. Raphael, your turn to read. Celebrity style.
Celebrity style. Now 69 years old, Horiyoshi III's career has spanned more than 40 years. Shared the historical Japanese art with everyone from Yakuza to rock stars. Renowned on the tattoo scene, people from all over the world have filed into Horiyoshi III's studio, including US tattoo icon Ed Hardy. When I visit the master at his pocket-sized studio, I expect to find armies of apprentices lining up to satisfy the master's every beck and call. But I was surprised to find myself alone with just him and his disruptive clients. The master prefers to work alone.
Great, thank you, Raphael. This word here is filed. Filed.
Filed.
Yeah. And this one, disrobed.
Disrobed.
Yes. So disrobed means that he's taken his robe off, i.e. that he's in some way naked. Not completely naked, I'm sure. But he doesn't have a robe or his clothes on because he's having his tattoo done. Any other questions? No. Oh, right. If you're just, I'd just like to get thinking, because at the end of the class, I'm going to ask you, if you had to have a tattoo, what would you choose? What picture? What would it be? And where would you have it? If you were forced into having a tattoo by somebody, what would you choose and where would you have it? So have a think about that. And we've got some really beautiful Japanese artwork, and I can see why they're inspired by this, because it's so distinctive, and, you know, all of this interesting historical stuff is transmitted through it. So, Salvatore, could you read a tattoo treasure trove for us?
Yes, a tattoo treasure trove. A short walk from the studio is the Yokohama Tattoo Museum, which Horiyoshi III founded in 2000, sorry, brimming with all sorts of seemingly random objects, from musty stuffed toys to masks that look like mummified, tattooed faces. The treasure trove also contains artifacts, books, and photographs that trace tattoo history around the world.
Thank you. Great reading. This one here, Salvatore, is mummified.
Mummified.
Yes. So in mummified, does anyone want to quickly explain what that means?
Maybe is a person that
It's like me, mummies.
that dead.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's like a dead person wrapped up in bandages and preserved. All right, so tattoo museum. That would be interesting if you like tattoos, I guess. Any other questions?
I'm wondering about the meaning of the brimming with all sort of. What means with brimming with?
Good question. I'm just trying to find it. There we go. Brimming. What does it mean? Anyone know?
Lots of the brim of a glass is top of the glass, and then we do full liquid in the glass. It would just brim over. So brimming with all sorts of seemingly random objects is just lots of them.
Yes. So it means absolutely full. Absolutely full to the brim. The brim is the very top of something like a glass, as Martin says. Thanks, Martin. Any other questions? No? All right. In that case, please could you read for us, Silvestro?
The Master's Legacy. Oriyoshi leaves pretty big footprints. They are hard to feel, said Reinke, pictured in his London studio. Obsessed with the Japanese culture since the age of 12, Reinke met Hiroshi III at the 1997 Bologna Tattoo Convention and trained with him for 16 years as one of the few foreigners to learn this historical art form. Today, he is one of Oriyoshi III's two active apprentices. For Reinke, tattoos have been a way of finding himself. When we train, we learn how to separate the ego from creativity, so that when you work, you don't just draw a wave or something, but you actually become the wave. Oriyoshi's entire work is based on Zen, on a philosophy of humility. Still, in training, Oriyoshi III's second apprentice is his son, Suryu Katsuyoshi, whose studio is above the Master's Museum.
Great, beautifully read. Thank you, Silvestro. Okay, so we find out a bit about his apprentices now. Any questions?
Hiroshi leaves pretty big footprints. That means it cannot be replaced quickly.
Yes, exactly right. Perfect, Philip. Well done. Anyone else? All right. So it looks like a fascinating studio, and I think, tattoo artists are pretty amazing. I was thinking then, because you don't want to do it wrong. It must take a lot of training to make sure that you don't stuff up someone's tattoo. Or terrible if you do. Would anyone like to read the last paragraph?
I can do that.
Thank you.
A preserver of Japanese culture, although he suffers from liver failure, Hiroshi III remains extremely active. He continues to tattoo, although now he uses electronic needles rather than the tebori, a needle attached to a long spear-like instrument, and he is working on the documentary about Japanese irezumi, as well as a book detailing the last decade of his career. People think they're traditional tattoo artists, but not all of them are. It's a very serious discipline inspired by Japanese history. Hiroyoshi III say tattoos is a way of preserving real Japanese culture, a very rich and historic culture, one that many people are forgetting.
Thank you. Beautifully read, Marianne. Any questions about that last piece? No? All right. So we found out a lot about Japan, and the thing that interested me most, I think, was the way that tattooing is sort of a way of preserving the culture in these particular types of tattoos. So now I'm going to ask you, if you did have to have a tattoo, what would you have, and where would you have it? And if you could give us some kind of explanation for why you have chosen this particular thing. So it can be anything you like. Would anyone like to go first?
Well, I would say, can I go first?
Yes, sure.
Well, I would say, like, if I choose to have a tattoo,
if I chose
for have a tattoo, I would say I choose the phrase "blindness is the bliss" on my wrist. So it will be on kind of in front of my eyes. So I can read it every day, and it's to kind of inspiration of my daily life.
Oh, right. Interesting, Marianne. Sorry, I didn't quite catch the phrase. What was the phrase?
Is blindness is bliss.
Blindness is blessed?
Blessed, yeah.
Why? Could you explain that to me? What do you mean by that?
Means kind of turning the, eyes on something. Blindness means someone who is blind.
Yes.
So being blind on the reality of life is a good habit of life,
Yeah, so that you're not like affected negatively by something, maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
Like ignorance is bliss.
Okay. Like ignorance is bliss. I get it. All right. So you'd have it on your wrist so that you can see it now and again, or there, I guess, or there, and you will just be reminded of it frequently.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Marianne, for starting us off. Okay, who's next?
Well, I could then be next. I think I would just have one letter pi under my right foot. Being a mathematician, I think the letter pi is quite a nice letter to have, but nobody should see it, and I should not be reminded of having it either. So.
That's hilarious, Martin. All right. So pi, okay, I like that. I think that suits your personality. And I love your choice of location. Why not under your left foot? Was there a particular...
Oh, that would be just as well. Or maybe a pi on each foot could be.
Balanced pies.
Yeah, just under the foot so nobody can see it. That's
right. Very funny. Okay, thank you, Martin. Who else would like to tell us?
May I?
Yeah? Yes, go ahead.
To be honest, I really don't want to have some tattoo on my body. But if I did it would be some Chinese hieroglyphs, because I think that they are really picturesque and beautiful, and some of them have a deep sense.
Did you say hieroglyphics, Natasha?
So, sorry?
What did you say? I didn't quite catch it. Hieroglyphics?
Hieroglyphics, hieroglyph. It's like...
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I just wanted to confirm. Hey, I agree with you. It's a really beautiful, interesting language.
Yeah.
Where would you have that?
I don't know, but in this case, I would like to find a good master. But I don't want to there. Maybe in Chinese too, because they really well known in their language. And in this case, maybe yes, it will be the best choice.
Thank you, Natasha. Right, who else?
Thank you.
I'm between two symbols.
Yep.
One of, I don't know, maybe an eagle. I believe it would be nice to have an eagle tattooed near to my shoulder. Or maybe two axes crossed. I don't know. I think it symbolizes hard work and a little bit of my culture. So I think it's quite interesting.
Absolutely.
Maybe I can do both. You know, one of the left and on the right side. I don't know.
Okay. Well, Raphael, if you get it, you'll have to send us a photo. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, who's next?
Okay, maybe if I do it, but I won't do it for sure. Maybe
If I did it. Yep.
If I did it, yes, it will be something about my pets. Because in my childhood, I had the most incredible pets, and of course they are dead nowadays. But when I think about them, I have pain in my chest, so maybe I get some tattoo under my heart. I don't know.
Oh, Ksenia, that's so sweet. But you definitely won't. But if you did, I love the way you say that. All right, thank you. Anyone else?
And you, Trendy.
Me?
Yep.
Raphael, I can always count on you to ask me. Good question. Let me think about it, and I'll try and tell you before the end of class. Anyone else?
Yes, if I was forced to have a tattoo, I would like it on a high place of my skin because I don't like them.
So you'd go for Martin's thing and have it on the bottom of your foot, maybe.
Yes, I would like
Fair
it
enough.
on a good place and very small.
Very small, microscopic. So you need a magnifying glass to see it. All right.
Me, teacher.
Okay.
I don't have a tattoo, but if I would make a tattoo, I would make a tattoo from the symbol of my football team because my friends they said me a lot many times because they have this kind of tattoo, and I should make this tattoo to satisfy my friends.
All right. So you're going to get a tattoo to satisfy your friends and support your football team. Awesome.
Yes.
Who's left? Anyone left? Who hasn't said their idea yet?
Hi. I haven't tattoo because I have no brave to for pain.
You're not brave enough. Me neither.
Absolutely. I hate the needle, but if the tattoo, I would have made the tattoo about my family, my children, and something about that.
All right. That's nice.
But there isn't this problem for me because I hate the needle. Really.
Well, yes, absolutely. I think there are some more of us in that camp too.
What can I do is the stickers. Do you know the the tattoo with the fake tattoo?
Yeah.
Exactly. In Italy we call them stickers, but I don't know if is it the right word.
We usually call them transfers.
Transfers.
You just stick them on, and then you often there's the picture still left, right?
Okay.
All right, I've had to think about it, Raphael, and what I would have is I really liked Marianne's idea of having something on your wrist because then you can see it. And I have a scales because I like to be reminded about the idea of balance in my life. So there you go. All right, thanks everybody. A really interesting class. It was fun finding out what kind of tattoos you'd like. Take care. Have a great rest of the week if I don't see you. And I'll probably see you next week.
Thank you, teacher.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.